Cookie dog. Cookie dog. So, it's 18th of August, and we're going to go take a look at what's going on in the garden. It's been a bit of a while, but let's see what's changed in the past month anyway. Quite a few things have changed. I think the most obvious is the sunflowers, which are now 12 feet tall. So, that's fun. These are all cherry tomatoes, a nice bit of a jumbled mess, getting a little bit out of control. Number of varieties. There's a black strawberry in there. They're starting to turn black and then it'll be pink on the inside. There's a yellow variety that I've grown every year. I just save some seeds from the year before and just keep regrowing them. So that started out from a packet of red seeds a couple of years ago. These are an almond type variety. On the front, this is bell peppers. I've been picking quite a few. They've been doing fairly well this year. Kind of hit and miss, but these ones are coming out okay. So quite a few of those. So they're going into the salsa later. Down here, this is all variety of hot peppers. So habaneros. I can see a few orange ones back there. This would be cayenne, and this would be Hungarian wax peppers. They're all very grand. These ones back here look like bell peppers, but they aren't. But when you pick them and you forget which is which, then you're in for some trouble. But they do form these like clusters, which is very interesting. And then in the back, jalapenos. They're actually growing very well, despite being so shaded out by all the other plants around. So a little surprising. And then go up, and that is the sunflowers. Like I said, they're 12 feet tall already. There we have the tunnel of pickles. Lots of pickles coming in. You can see them hanging down from the top there. So did a big pick last weekend, made a couple of gallons of pickles. So doing all right. And then this is a volunteer cantaloupe that grew by itself. It's not going to get much bigger than that. It got a late start, but it's still trying. God love it. But we'll see what we get out of it. Which is surprising, is doing the best out of all of the cantaloupes I grew. This jumbled mess is Roma tomatoes. We had another windstorm come through and knocked everything down, but I'll have to pick them up at some point. Over here, San Marzanos, we've been picking those already, and they're going into the salsa as well. And it's all very jumbled. Ugh. Goodness gracious. This tunnel here is also more melons, but the variety that grew did not match what was in the packet at all, which is very surprising. But they're not doing great. Some kind of virus or disease took hold of these melons, and they're not going to be any growth coming out of these. They've already started to go bad on the vine, so that's a big disappointment. So all of the onions that were here have been picked. They've all been picked and they're drying on the racks right now. That's a row of parsnips along the back. And then we have the zucchini. Has been very good at pumping out zucchinis, but it has just recently died off sharply. So now I just have this one little stubby guy growing. Normally I was pulling off a great big one the size of my forearm every other day, but it seems to have run its course. You might have picked up something from the melons too, so hard to say. I don't know why it's so dark. It's because it's only 7:30 in the morning. Here we have leeks. Leeks are doing well. They're about an inch thick at the base, and they'll keep going up until it frosts, really, so I can leave it there quite a while. In the back I have some small eggplants. They got a very late start, so once the kohlrabies were finished, I pulled them out and put in these eggplants. So starting to flower, might get a few. Up here we have the cabbages. You can see the red cabbages are just completely dominating the bed, which is what I wanted them to do because they're acting like weed blockers. But they have nice big heads. That's about as big as I like them to get, and I can get ready to start picking them. Poblano peppers have done really well, so they are poblanoing away still, and they'll keep going for a while. And that's all poblanos. They're really tasty. Good to put them over the grill, and they just come out fantastic. This is where the garlic was. The garlic's been all picked, and now I have put in autumn peas. So they're starting to flower up. We'll start getting some peas here in a couple of weeks. And in the back is a jumbledy mess of cucumbers. They are cucumbering away as they do. I also at the front grew some beans, but the problem is some rodent came through and just chewed through all the vines. So no more beans coming out, but there are still a few beans that are sitting up on top, but there'll be no more beans. Voles have been in the garden, and they've been really just destroying everything. So they've killed all of my bean plants. Voles this year have been just the worst to deal with. More cabbages. These will be banana peppers. I just did a pick on these a couple of days ago. So these are sweet bananas, and they look just like the Hungarian wax, but don't get confused because you'll get a surprise. Along the back here, these are another indeterminate variety of tomatoes. These are pretty good. I've been picking them already. And then, yeah. So, not too much. The cucumbers are not being especially productive. There are a few in there, so that one's about ready to come out. It's yay big. So that's what's going on in the beds. The only other thing that's going around, so that's all the onions drying out. I'll hang them up along with the garlic here later on today, but they needed to dry out like this for a little while before I braid them, because otherwise the braids will dry out and they'll just fall down. So back here we have the grapes, and they are so tasty. And as I mentioned before, anything that's within reach of the top of the fence has already been grabbed by squirrels or raccoons or God knows what. We have some tomatoes growing on the back as well. Not too many, but they're there. And we have a couple of acorn squash. Kind of hard to see down there, but about the size of my fist. Not terribly big, but they're still going. Again, these got a late start as well, so we'll get a couple out of it. There's another few more there. So, and a couple more tomatoes. So I think I'm going to try and pick most of the grapes today. I think they're about ready to go, and then we'll press them on Sunday. So that'll be pretty nice. Another variety of grapes back here. These have been kind of found by the birds and the squirrels and the wasps, so probably not going to be too much to salvage out of there, but I'm pressing them, so not going to matter that much. Apples. So this apple tree is still doing okay. I'll probably get more apples out of this little thing than I did out of the big one, because squirrels haven't seemed to find this one yet. But that time will come. Back here we have more tomatoes. Very strange, they did not want to grow up the cages, and so they just were kind of like a very stunted variety. Of course, these came from Menards, and you never know what the hell you're going to get there. So the labels say one thing and something else completely different will grow. Still a few spuds going, and then more tomatoes. So yeah, here's an example. Like this tomato and this tomato both came out of the same 6-pack in Menards, and they're two completely different species. So that and this is just like a random pack of God knows what. So that's Menards for you. So can't recommend them. And then I think the last things, we have a couple of trees still going back here. More, a couple more tomatoes, and then the hops. And the hops are all the way to the roof. And they are about ready to pick. So it's going to be a busy weekend here. And talk to you later. Bye.